The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. With your hosts, Joe Bond.
You're awful.
And AJ Applegarth.
It's Sin Shu Chu. It's a mouthful.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Podcast. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, as usual, in I think in pretty okay shape tonight. We'll see.
Hello,
AJ Applegarth. What's up, man?
Am I muted?
I don't know. Should we mute you?
I don't know. Did you want to talk about my sweaty balls?
Oh my god. Yes, we're gonna mute AJ for the rest of the
And
show.
muted.
I'm on standby.
I just muted him. No. Anyway, so I know it's a little bit later of a start than we usually have. I apologize for that.
Way more fun this way.
Yeah, it just gave AJ more time to prep.
Exactly.
Anyway,
I'm ready to
so
talk,
tonight we're going to be covering
questions. So
stop talking. So tonight we're going to be doing the AFC South preview. But before we get into that, just want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button, follow button, like button, whatever it is. Leave those comments, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you are watching or listening. We appreciate it, and it does us a big help if you do that. Also want to remind everybody to check out our new membership plans on Fantasy Six Pack. We've got two packages. One, a draft package which includes our draft cheat sheet and projections only, which gives you access to that through the beginning of the season. Pretty much, it's not really relevant after that. $20 for that, and then if you want to pay monthly, $10 a month, you'll get a whole bunch more access to the cheat sheet and the projections, as well as our rankings, our Discord channel where you get direct access to all of us, and where we can help you all season long. And that is only $10 a month. So that is a great value. And we're going to be adding some more content behind that as well. As it comes along, we're still building out everything that's going to go behind it. But that is a fairly cheap package for all the great content you're going to get, including especially those rankings during the season as well. We've got a lot of guys that have finished very, very high in the Fantasy Pros Expert consensus rankings. So, but yeah, let's jump into it here. We are pleased to be joined by Miss Linda Lindelians. What's going on? I said it right this time.
Yeah, you crushed that. What a hellscape it was to get my computer cooperating for this show, but we got here, so that's all that matters.
exactly.
Hey,
Hey,
I wasn't
this is
throwing
usually
blame on anybody, but
when I'm
yeah.
like peak ready to go. So
Technical
it's good.
difficulties.
Perfect.
But
That's
it is-
exactly
it is
where I want you to be.
okay.
yes,
It is okay. So, all right. We're ready to jump through the AFC South, but we got one quick thing to do first, and we are giving away a Warrior Bowl spot this year, and we're going to do it on this show. And I ran the 100-yard dash on my phone while I was waiting for the fireworks to go off that went off like 40 minutes later than I thought they would tonight. One other reason why we're late. But let me see if I can share my screen here. And let's see here. Is this gonna work? Yeah, let's do this. So this is the replay of the all the entries that went in. So let's watch and see who our winner is. This only takes like 30 seconds, I believe. It's not that long. So it's always fun to watch these. Everybody gets their hopes up.
no, somebody
Garrett at the top, Mr.
Jim
F6P, by the
my
way.
boy.
Man, the
Jim,
runaway.
Come on, Jim.
Oh yeah, Jim. Yeah, your boy Jim's in it.
Don't pull the hammy.
Oh man, high hopes. 77. The winner.
Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim. Sorry.
Lawyer.
All right, dude, so that is the winner. High hopes. I will be tweeting at you in your DMs later. At this point, probably tomorrow. But congratulations on the entry to the Warrior
Sometime
Bowl. It
this
is an
weekend,
awesome
you will get a
event.
notification.
It's like Scott Fish Bowl mini, honestly, but they do it for great charity. It is a great event. So anyway, let's get rolling here. I need to stop sharing
You
my
can
screen.
stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, thank you. That I'm giving
All
away
right.
I don't even know what people just read there. So
Whoa.
all right, so let's
This is
jump
a
into things
family
here.
show.
I'm a little off myself here. So all right, so let's jump into the AFC South. And so we like to start off things here with man, I didn't even do beer of the week. Jeez, I suck. Way off here. All right, let's do beer of the week. Anybody ready for that? AJ, beer of the week, you ready?
Getting ready.
All right.
Beer.
All right, well, we're gonna let our guest go first. Linda, what? I know it's not beer for you, but what are you partaking in tonight?
I'm always Truly lemonade. It's like a staple. It's dinner at this point.
I love it.
It's
I figured as much.
Tonight.
Figured
It's
as much.
just,
AJ,
it's refreshing. If I eat it with peanut butter crackers, it's kind of almost peanut butter and jelly sandwich like.
You're gonna make me fucking hungry.
Not bad.
AJ's like, I'm gonna have to run to Taco Bell in the middle of the show. See you later.
Yeah, I'm like, damn it! I just mentioned fourth meal. Now there's peanut butter crackers on the table, literally somewhere. Man. Okay.
All right, AJ, what are you drinking tonight, man?
I am drinking the Deschutes freshly squeezed. Fresh squeezed IPA. Lots of hop. It's
I like that one a lot.
Freaking delicious. I don't know. It's like one of my favorite beers.
Yeah, it's a lighter one too, but it's good, man. I like it a lot.
6.4. So that's light for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lighter one. In what world?
Yeah.
So I am in this world. You want to listen to mine?
Oh,
so God. I'm drinking a Stone. It's one of the other brews that AJ brought me for my birthday. Stone Ruin 10 Triple IPA. 10.8.
So good.
And it is so good.
I would, when you like get the spins when you go to bed, so you got to put like one foot on the ground. So you keep yourself balanced. Do you guys not? Anyway.
I don't think I've done that
after like a beer and a half. Like in the bar stool, just 1 foot on the ground.
No, that one, I got a 6-pack for me and a 6-pack for him for his birthday, and I was like, okay, I gotta find some other beers to give
one. It's last.
Just one a night. That'll do.
Yeah, it's been sitting there for a few weeks, like marinating, because I drank the other ones a lot faster than I probably should have.
Not surprised.
But cheers. I give it a 4.25 on Untapped, by the way. So very, very good. I do like it. So all right, well, let's just get this show rolling here. And AJ, have at it, man.
Oh, sure. Just get me in the midst.
You're the one that put the names down next to the question, so you
okay. So yeah, because these are all my questions.
Sure.
Sort of ish. All right. So the way we like to do these is we start with a more NFL friendly question before we get into the positions and everything for fantasy related. So with the AFC South this year, I mean, to me, it just feels like there's been way more turnover in this division than any other division in football since last season, at least. You've got the Indy QB shuffle. You've got the Jacksonville coaching shuffle. You've got the Deshaun Watson, whatever the fuck that is going on. And then you've got Tennessee welcoming back Derrick Henry, but also saying bye, Felicia, to AJ Brown. So there's been a lot of movement in this division this year and this offseason. So who's in the best best position to win the division in 2022?
This is like, listen, I feel like the easy answer is the Colts, but I like the Titans coach better. And so for that reason, I lean the Titans. Derrick Henry and just that system that they've got over there, I think leads towards a better record at the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Colts, but I like the Titans.
Okay. Joe?
I don't know, man. I kind of think the Colts could take it. I mean, I just without that offense just seems like it's gonna be lacking just a slight bit more than in years past. Obviously, even with Derrick Henry healthy, I'm just not really sure those receivers are gonna be able to even come close to what has been done in the years past. I think in the offense, as shocking as this is, it got an upgrade with Matt Ryan. And yeah, so I think it's going to be close, but I do lean Indy just slightly.
Yeah, we'll get to our division,
our picks later.
Later, but all right. So we'll dip into the quarterback position first. We mentioned Matt Ryan. Obviously, he is sitting at quarterback 20, but right in front of him is Trevor Lawrence at 19. We've got Mr. Ryan Tannehill at 23. We've got Mr. Davis Mills coming into his first full season as a Houston quarterback at 29. Then we've got bench-ish person, Malik Willis at 36. And we have a complete disservice to, general popularity and or life in general. I mean, Big Dick Nick is in this conference, and he is not even ranked. So I'm disappointed in that. But let's move on. Joe, you didn't want this question, so I will take it.
No, that's fine. Sorry, I thought you had the first one. I do.
I do.
Anyway, so Jacksonville's the first place we're going to start here, and James Robinson was a massive surprise for everybody in 2020.
Why are you talking
talking quarterbacks, buddy.
Quarterbacks, bro.
Oh my God, I'm.
That's why I said I still have the first one.
Yes. So okay, sorry. Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
I told you I'm writing tweets and not paying attention. You go, man. Don't listen to me. I'm off my game tonight.
Fucking guy, Linda. I apologize for.
Never apologize. I want you guys to do karaoke, so this is really no surprise.
We will be there.
Hopefully, karaoke. And that was phenomenal. You also watched him, and then him drag me up there to make more of an ass out of myself.
Yep.
Because I did not know the words to that song, and I was apparently like Chris Rock to his Will Smith at that point, honestly. So another story for another show.
Join us at the Fantasy Football Expo. Maybe you'll see more of that, everybody.
Yes. Come to the Fantasy Expo in August. Great time. All right. So let's talk Houston here. Obviously,
not Jacksonville. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't just go back to your twittering over there. On a scale of disgraced piece of garbage, Deshaun Watson versus Deshaun Watson circa 2018 to 2020, where do you expect Davis Mills to actually slot in for fantasy this year?
I think Davis Mills is, first of all, easy to cheer for. So, I get the appeal of rooting for that thick-necked motherfucker, but I don't think he's... Sorry, am I allowed to say motherfucker?
I don't care. That's hilarious.
Yes. I am sure I have at some point.
Okay,
You're
my
fine.
bad.
No.
I just laughed.
If I can't apologize, you're not allowed to apologize.
Approved.
But I don't think he's more than like a QB2. I get shooting for him if you're in a super flex league, or really outside of a super flex. I'm not super interested in Davis Mills. He might be somebody, depending on how his season goes, that you can grab him when your starting quarterback is on a bye week, like in redraft leagues. In Dynasty, I'm not super thrilled about him at all. I don't think that he's the long-term answer there. Even if he plays well, I'm not sure that he gets the nod to be the long-term answer. So I'm out on him in Dynasty, but I get the appeal in super flex leagues or in like best ball drafts on Underdog.
Okay. Joe, thoughts?
Yeah,
on,
just real quick, like I agree with you, Linda. Like I think, he's definitely just a streaming quarterback at this point. I will say this too, like I am way more interested in him in 2 QB leagues or super flex leagues than probably most. If you look back at the last 5 games played last season, he was QB. Oh, where'd he just go? I feel like he was way better than this, but I just lost it for some dumbass reason. But he actually had a fairly strong finish to the season. He had a 27-point game, an 18-point game, a 14-point game, another 18-point game. Mixed it in with like an 8, but his last 5 games were pretty strong, and that easily puts him into the top tier of QB2 territory. So I do like him. I mean, the passing volume is going to be there. The running game for Houston is not going to be good still. They're going to be behind in a lot of games. He's going to get a lot of garbage time. He outside of the game against Buffalo, he didn't really turn the ball over all that much. So like I think he's a safer QB2 type of play, with maybe a little bit more upside than people think. But I want nothing to do with him in like a normal 12-team 1 quarterback league though. So
it's my QB1,
of course. So let's move over here to Indy, and what expectations can we have from Matt Ryan? Do we think he's going to have a slight resurgence in Indy, or do we still think this decline is just going to keep coming, and you're just completely off of him in redraft?
I wouldn't. I think he's another example of like a great streaming quarterback in terms, like nobody's going to take him as a top 12 quarterback, I don't think, but I think he has top 12 upside. That offensive line is so much better than whatever is going on in Atlanta. And so for that reason, I think you can expect him to even possibly take a little step forward, in my opinion. So I think he's a great guy that you can grab off the waiver wire when necessary, because I don't think he's going to be a quarterback that's drafted in your average 1 quarterback redraft league. He will be a prime streaming. He will be in every article. I would guarantee it right now.
Yeah.
He's going to be a favorite DFS play a lot. He'll probably be cheap enough in a lot of DFS.
Yeah.
weeks.
I feel like he's the ultimate streaming, week to week. Well, yeah. All right. Depending on how much he costs in DFS. And I don't think he'll get to, upper quarterback tier prices, even if he has some blowout weeks in a row, just because of the fact that there's still going to be those top tier guys playing. And, people are going to go after them before they look at a Matt Ryan. But I look at this and I like the situation because the offensive line is better. The team has come out and been very vocal about how well he's playing so far and how surprised they are to see it. And it's like, wow, this old man can play. So I am expecting somewhat more of a, Phillip Rivers-esque resurgence than a Carson Wentz, whatever the fuck disappointment that was. And
I'd say the only
I know Carson Wentz disappointments.
I'd say this before we move on to the next question, AJ, is my biggest concern with him is we know that this offense is going through Jonathan Taylor. And so they will pass a far less ton than they did in Atlanta for him. And that's where Matt Ryan got a lot of his value from it was just heavy volume. But
because he had Julio Jones, he had Calvin Ridley, he had great receivers. Indy doesn't have that caliber of receiver. They have a phenomenal running back,
right? You got to factor that in.
Atlanta hasn't really had. So I think that it's going to come down to the fact of teams focusing on JT versus let's test Matt Ryan and see what he can do. Yeah. And I think he might surprise some people. I
definitely got him at the very bottom of my QB too.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be great,
not anybody I'm super interested in. But let's jump over to Jacksonville.
Oh, are you sure you don't want to take this one again? No, I'm just kidding. All right,
I didn't take this one. I took the other one.
Speaking of, I wrote this out as speaking of Wentz because you didn't read the question the right way, but his former head coach now, Dougie Peterson, finally got himself a new job, new gig down in Jacksonville. Thank God Urban Meyer is out of the NFL for a multitude of reasons. But, now we've got a former quarterback mentoring a stud college quarterback. What are you really looking at as far as Trevor Lawrence's second season with a more QB-friendly head coach?
I'd like to start by saying I think every quarterback in the AFC South deserves a before I give the answer. Like, all of them are just like, ugh, yeah.
Yes.
That's
correct.
how I feel. Like, maybe he's good.
Sure, that's your answer for like 90% of this division in general.
Yeah.
Not just the quarterbacks.
Also going to say for the running backs. Aside from JT.
Outside of Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry.
I think it gets a little more bleak when we get to backfields. But,
yes.
Trevor Lawrence had so much stacked against him with Urban Meyer as his head coach, with the way that his rookie season went is so abysmal. I think there's a lot to bounce back from.
Yeah.
Literally any step forward will be impressive. Unfortunately, I don't think, they paid Christian Kirk like he's Keenan Allen. And I just,
who knows?
It's concerning what they did to build around him, in my opinion. But I don't think the defense got terribly better either. So he's likely going to be throwing a lot. And if they can get some kind of rhythm going in that offense, if Evan Engram can hold on to a football, there's some hope there.
Well, no, that's not going to happen.
Upside, but you have to be willing to risk it if you're taking him as I'm not going to take him as my QB1.
No, absolutely not.
I
think one of the big things you have to worry about with the Jags, right? And they didn't protect him. They didn't go get any O linemen either in the draft. Like, they got they waited to the third round. I know that the O linemen were not the top picks in the draft, but when you drafted Trevor Lawrence the year before, I don't care. You pass on Trayvon Walker, you pass on whoever, or you trade down 3 picks and go get an offensive lineman and let anybody else take the D lineman ahead of you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or that.
Sorry about that. Damn. But like they still have not upgraded the line around him. And so he's still going to be running for his life. I think he's talented. We're going to see a much different Trevor Lawrence this year than we did last year. We're going to see a much different Jags team this year. That was just a train wreck.
The bar is in hell. So yes, the bar is so low for him to clear. So I think
but I mean, he's somebody who I do think has some upside, but I'm not going after him. And in drafts right now. Like, as you said, like none of these quarterbacks are really anybody that I care about in a standard redraft league.
No,
it's just not going
to
happen.
He had one exciting offensive weapon. If he had one weapon that I was like super in on, I think I would have a way different opinion, but I'm not stoked about the offense as a whole.
Yeah, he's just got he's got a lot of guys that you're always like, oh, well, maybe he'll be good. He should be good. Like Chenault,
right?
You said Kirk is talented, but not a wide receiver one. We all
but he just
like
got
Travis
paid.
Etienne,
So
but
is
we've
he
never
actually
seen
gonna
him
play for that contract, or is he just gonna be like, I got paid, I'm good?
Yeah, who knows? So, all right, well, let's finish up here with the quarterbacks and Tennessee. So, Ryan Tannehill there is sitting there, but I mean, do you think at some point Malik Willis will challenge Tannehill for that starting job?
No, I do not. But like the most recent report was that Malik Willis might be the quarterback 3 behind Logan Woodside, I think was the name. He's
I find that hard to believe. That's coach speak, in my opinion.
Just don't think. Like, I know the Tannehill that we saw last year.
Strong name.
From a fantasy,
strong name.
Especially from a fantasy football standpoint, it wasn't a fun Ryan Tannehill. Not the Ryan Tannehill we drafted at ADP, but I think he does enough. I mean, we saw them do enough to win, and when they're running it through Derrick Henry, it doesn't so much matter. What your quarterback's able to. It's not as crucial. So
yeah,
I just wonder, like, at some point, if Robert Woods, I obviously can't replace AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry isn't just going to be able to like put this whole team on his shoulders.
Talking about the future of the show.
It could.
We're off the rails here.
Do they just turn to Malik Willis and just be like, let's see what we've got with this guy? That would be the only thing with me, but I agree with you.
I just don't think with that coaching staff it falls apart to that point where they're like, fuck it, throw that guy out there. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what we got.
Seeing crazier thing happens. But,
I think with Tannehill, like looking at his stats from last year, pre Derrick Henry injury versus post Derrick Henry injury, I mean, it was literally the middle of the season. So he had 8 games with him and 9 without him prior to playoffs. I mean, they still won games. They still were able to compete, but it wasn't necessarily because Tannehill took on so much more and just
took on a little less.
Exploded.
Like,
I mean, his stats throughout those, first half, second half were pretty damn similar. And actually they were better in the first half because he had the protection of Henry. So I think he kind of, he was tasked with having to do more, so to speak, and take more of the offensive load. And he really didn't do much with it. So I don't think Willis is going to challenge him this year. I think Willis is a project. I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, but I think he needs to learn, and I like this position for him. But yeah, I just, it's hard for me to see him taking starts from Tannehill this year. So
agreed. I think this season would have to fall off the rails before that happens.
Yeah.
Who knows if that will. But all right, let's go to running backs.
Jumping into running backs here. Obviously, we have Mr. Jonathan Taylor at RB1. Shocker. We've got Derrick Henry coming off injury, but still at RB3. And then you can draft a shit ton of receivers because the next guy up is James Robinson at RB39. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Wait.
No.
Travis Etienne.
Ordered here.
Etienne. Yeah. No, I wrote them wrong. So Travis Etienne at RB23. You can still draft a bunch of receivers. And then you've got get the fuck out of the cell so I can read it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Then you got Robinson at 39. You've got you're just fucking with me here now. Now you're just
left it alone. Just read.
Marlon Mack at 49. You got Damian Pierce ahead of him at 43. You got Nyheim Hines, more of a pass catching specialist at 46. And then our old friend from the AFC East, who's been in the AFC South for a couple of years now, Rex Burkhead at 82. Wow, what a stud he is. Joe, take it away.
All right, so the question that I was trying to ask earlier, so Jacksonville, so James Robinson was completely came out of nowhere, it felt like, in 2020 and won some managers leagues, but
you suck at reading what I wrote down, by the way.
I do, because I don't want to read. Sorry,
read the short question.
But then in 2021, right, it was supposed to be Etienne, but then he was lost for the season. So James Robinson still became sort of a surprise, like at a cheap value in drafts. So now we got to focus on Etienne a little bit more because he is back healthy. And James Robinson we still don't know. Like, they're saying he's making progress, but there's also talk that he might not even be able to start the year. So what do we, where should you be targeting Etienne in drafts? Expecting, him to be healthy and James Robinson possibly not healthy to start the season.
I'm not concerned with Etienne's ADP. I understand his ADP. I understand they think he's going to get the work. We had all the hype before Urban Meyer season that he was running wide receiver routes, and people were super hyped on that because their coach speak, as you well know, coach speak doesn't matter unless it confirms your prior thoughts and confirms your biases, and then it matters. And so Travis Etienne was getting all this wide receiver work. I understand wanting to draft him. He's not a guy I'm super hype on grabbing right now, especially he's not a guy that I think right now I feel confident that I'll be like, oh, I can't wait to start this guy every week. And for me, when I'm talking about redraft leagues, when I'm looking at a redraft league, that's my biggest concern. How much confidence? What are you doing?
I said don't mind me. 3 seconds ago.
Sorry.
We don't know what AJ does anymore, ever.
But he's just not, I'm not confident enough to hit the button on him yet. But I understand his ADP. I don't think he's overdrafted or underdrafted. I think it's pretty fair for where he's at. I know a lot of people on Twitter are like, you guys, it's like you don't even care that Travis Etienne ran past some trash cans and no moving players. Did you guys see that? Everybody was super about it.
Those trash cans were straight out of Brooklyn. They were tough competition.
So I get it. He's not a guy I'm willing to reach on.
Nobody.
But I'll grab him if he falls.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go out of my way to make sure I get him, but his value in drafts right now is to the point where I'm still all in on him. We're talking running back 23, and if I hadn't totally botched up all my screens right now, I could tell you who's going around him in drafts, but he is going around a bunch of guys to that point where I'm just, and I know for a fact he's going around a bunch of guys at that point because I talked about it on the Jacksonville team preview show that we did on YouTube, where none of those guys interest me. And if I still need a running back at that point, he is 100% a guy who I think could far surpass the ceiling of anybody else that's going around him. And
Are you a running back draft? You like drafting running backs?
I do, and but I've gone a little bit off of like heavy running back drafts as much more in the past, but this year I'm looking at it and I love the value of the receivers that are falling more so than the running backs. If you miss on running backs, I'm just like, it's not pretty. We went through all the ADPs and in ECR of a bunch of the running backs through all the team previews, and it's not pretty once you get past the top. Like
this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I just grabbed me a AJ Dillon and a Melvin Gordon, and I'm like, oh, I'm Gucci. We'll just and like they go so late. That's not what we're talking about. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I mean I get it. The ceiling of an AJ Dillon and the ceiling of a Melvin Gordon, unless there's an injury in front of them, are not there.
We're gonna wholly disagree on that, but I think the way that we draft can interpret how we feel about Etienne, because I feel like if I'm taking him, I'm reaching a little bit for a running back, but you're talking about it from the prospect of like, if I need another one, whereas he would be my first running back, which I'm not comfortable with. He would be your second or third, which is totally comfortable. Like I 100% get that, but I think the way we draft, it's easy to view him differently.
That's fair. That's fair.
I could not take him as my first running back this year, right? Because I think I did that last year in Scott Fish, and it clearly effed me. So,
although to be fair,
he's almost dead.
I mean, you're talking what, 5th round right now, overall 49. You're talking you could still go, but 3 receivers and a tight end, or 3 receivers and
right. And I think I would be
still
more
could take him as your RB1.
Yeah,
and I feel like the upside of Etienne is better than Mel Gordon
in a redraft league.
It could work.
I think I'd rather.
How do we know that? How can you know that though?
What? No, what?
Mel Gordon has been in the league and proven himself. Etienne's been in the league and gotten injured and done nothing but disappoint because he got injured. So it's hard. It's hard to put those
about
two.
How bad the offensive line is. Like
exactly.
That's true, but I think Etienne still has
compare those two and just all of a sudden be like, oh, Etienne's better than him.
I think helps him.
I mean,
you're still rating him as a rookie at this point, so there is a lot of speculation. I get it.
I get there's the Javonte Williams.
It's him or Dobbins. You know, like those guys are all like there. But like after him, those next few, unless you really love AJ Dillon, which I get it, I like Mr. Quads, but like Damian Harris and CEH and those guys.
The way you
watched AJ Dillon destroy the fucking
I do, but I also don't. I also am not. I don't see Aaron Jones going away enough that puts Dillon.
There's just nobody else there that I feel like both running backs can get a big enough piece of the pie. Like that's. I just don't.
Without Devontae there, and they've lost MVS. I mean,
do they ever really have MVS, Mrs. Stonehands? I mean, come on.
That's true. Without that random target that Aaron
catch
Rodgers
one of every 10 balls
to occasionally when he felt like it. Yeah,
we're so off topic. I'm so sorry.
Nah, it's okay. Yeah, we do need to move on.
Great.
Sorry, ask the next question, AJ.
I don't even know where the fuck we are. Are we still on running backs?
Indy.
Jonathan
Taylor. That was easy. We're on Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. So JT, I mean, clearly far and away the RB1 last year, but do we think he repeats as RB1 in fantasy for 2022 now that he's got a more competent quarterback under center?
I think history is against a repeating RB1 season. Like it doesn't matter what's going on around him so much as like just the chance of history repeating it. It's been years since a running back's finished first overall 2 times in a row. And I made it back to like 2018 before I gave up. Sorry, that's how long my attention span lasted. That being said, I don't see any reason why he's not the first running back you draft. I don't blame you for taking CMC first if you are absolutely not worried about, if you don't succumb to the I can't think of the word, injury shit. If you what's the word?
Injury history, injury risk.
No, where you get it chronically, and people are like, it doesn't exist, but some people think it exists. Oh my god, injury prone. Jesus.
Yeah,
there we go.
If you don't succumb to the idea of being injury prone, I understand.
Speaking of injury prone. My brain.
By the way, had you
right
gone back
now.
1 year, one more year, Linda, you would have seen the Todd Gurley repeated 2017 and 2018.
Listen, Todd Gurley hurt my feelings.
I just thought it was funny. You went to 2018. And you were like, I'm done.
I got tired.
One more year. It was like he was the repeating guy.
Okay.
I'm sorry. As soon as you said it, I was like, I feel like it was that year. And then I looked it up. And was like,
still,
holy hell! It
was.
I
feel like if you went back far enough, you'd be like, history doesn't.
It doesn't. It
its
really
friendliness
doesn't. You're right. It is very rare.
Okay, I'll take that.
It is very rare. In fact, there's a lot of like the.
I almost died over here because of this. So
take another shot, AJ. No, never mind.
I will.
Please.
Actually,
challenge accepted.
What did I just do?
Oh man, you fucked yourself. That's what you did.
Oh no, he's really gonna do it. All right, Linda, keep talking about JT if you got any more thoughts.
Here's my dilemma. Again, I usually wait on running back. So like if I have the 101, I'll take Cooper Kupp. That's where I'm at personally.
Yeah. All right. Do you think Kupp's gonna repeat?
I have no problem with his ADP. I have no problem with people saying he's the running back one. I think he probably is, but I don't.
So here's a question from Davis Payne. Would you take JT with him having the best shot at another top 5 season? Just kind of consistency, like he's gonna be there, because there's a lot of guys, if you draft in the top 5, they don't finish in the top 5.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty safe bet for top 5 outside of injury. I don't see any scenario in which, unless Matt Ryan turns into Justin Herbert, I think you're safe.
You did this, Joe.
Ooh, see, Joe, that's what happens.
All right,
now I got a sip inside car
here. So let's jump over here to Houston. And AJ wrote this question, so I apologize for it.
No, I will read it.
Okay.
No. Yeah, you can have this.
Okay, thanks. So Marlon Mack got signed by Houston. Is he somebody that you're, especially as somebody who's drafting running backs a little later, is he somebody that you're even remotely interested in taking at his current ADP of, I think it's 49, RB 49?
Yeah. I think my note said like, like no
good enough
now. I think at that point, but I think there are
AJ mute. Jesus,
that's good.
You're out.
I think there are better upside options than Marlon Mack, but I just don't. That backfield is a straight up avoid from me. Regardless of value, or like, oh, this guy's super cheap and might have upside. No,
nope,
no, thank you.
No, yeah, I'd be out. I mean,
I really debated on skipping
here
this.
And there, but even then, it's kind of like I wouldn't feel good about it.
No, there's nothing to feel good about drafting Marlon Mack. Excuse me. Unless you
not on Houston.
Grand Run, yeah.
When he was with Indy, maybe
a heady IPA. That's the only time that makes sense. And even then, you're like looking at it the next morning, like, fuck, why did I do this?
I made bad decisions.
Yeah. Exactly. That's pretty much what you have to live
Close
off of.
out the running backs, AJ.
So running backs here. The last one we have is obviously Mr. Derrick Henry. I mean, this offense has literally Rob Lowe-esque run through a healthy Derrick Henry. For years, really. But 2022, we finally saw him fall victim to an injury. I mean, he's been one of the most durable guys out there. I mean, should we temper our expectations for Derrick Henry this year, or are you still F it? He's still an RB1 regardless.
Respectfully, Derrick Henry is a fucking monster, and I would never be like, you should temper your expectations. Like if I can't say it to your face, then I'm not gonna say it on Twitter. I think if you're all in on Derrick Henry, then there's no argument against it. Besides the people that are like, oh, once you turn 26, you're dead. So I don't see any problem being
30.
all in on Derrick Henry.
30. Once you turn 30 as a running back, then you're dead.
Sometimes it's like 28.
Did you see AJ Brown's tweet? Did y'all see AJ Brown's tweet today? This is relevant to this AFC South.
God,
okay. No, it's great. It's about his birthday, I think.
Linda, you might like that. Look at the quote on the message.
Fuck yeah, David.
I have the tweet. I have the tweet, Linda, if you need it.
Yeah, it's not even June 30th, to be honest, LOL. It's really 13 months in a year, and I don't think nobody knows what day or year it really is. So maybe it's my B-day, or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm 25 or 18. Who knows?
I mean, is that a knock on baseball?
AJ, was he partying with you earlier? Good Lord. What?
Possibly. I mean, us AJ's got to stay together. We know how to party and we know how to do things right. So I wouldn't.
I will say this.
Maybe I did tweet that for him under his phone. I don't know.
I will say this about Derrick
Henry. He said he went to the bathroom and to watch his drinks, but he didn't say anything on that phone. So
that's cool. So I'll say this about Derrick Henry, and this is something that Davis brought up actually. So Davis, I'm going to credit you for this, for making this point made, is his workload really wasn't as much. Like, people always stress the workload, right? 300 carries and 378 carries in 2 straight seasons. But the workload before that, wasn't really massive for him. He always was kind of sharing the backfield. Had 110 carries in 2016, 176 in 2017, 215 in 2018, which, yes, is quite a bit, especially now with, all the heavy running back timeshares that we're getting. But, this is the guy who 6'3", 250, sure. Yeah, well, it's probably better than that. So this guy is going to just be able to if the foot is truly healed, I have no issues with him in the top 3, top 4 of any draft. No. So I'm all in for it. But let's move on here to the receivers here and rip through the ADP real quick if my throat lets me do it. Sorry. Michael Pittman, wide receiver 19, Brandin Cooks at wide receiver 23, Treylon Burks 31, Robert Woods 44, Christian Kirk 47, Alec Pierce 66, John Mechie 73, sorry. Marvin Jones 81, Laviska Shenault at 86, Paris Campbell at 90, Nico Collins at 93, and then Nick Westbrook Etienne at 101. And I don't know if I said that right. Yeah. So AJ, first question.
Well, you fucked that up a couple of times, but we won't talk about that. So Mr. Robert Woods. We talked about Tannehill being, I mean, can Robert Woods and rookie Treylon Burks really fill this void that has been left with AJ Brown leaving for the Eagles. I spelled it somewhat, sort of.
You crushed that. You nailed that spell.
I screwed up what, AJ?
It's right over here.
Here's
I was trying to
Here's
read
my
down.
thought process. You know how like Kansas City fans are like, now Tyreek Hill is gone, but we refilled it with MVS and Juju Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman. They'll all equal Tyreek Hill. And that's not the math ain't mathin'. That's not how it works.
The math ain't mathin'. I'm gonna quote that.
I feel very
100% agree. I mean,
I feel very similarly about AJ Brown. Like, I think AJ Brown, as much as the fantasy community loved him, maybe the regular NFL community didn't realize what he did, or I'm not sure, but there is no world in which Treylon Burks, who I think can be a fine NFL wide receiver. Personally, there's some concern with the fact that he's struggling through early rookie camp and stuff. And I understand we went through, well, it's just like Jamar Chase dropping passes.
No.
Well, no, it's not. No, it isn't. He has a health concern that has been an issue at practice. That's not dropping a football. We collectively agree that drop passes don't matter. We do not collectively agree that health concerns are an issue. So that concerns me. Robert Woods is also coming off an injury, and we love Bobby Treves when he was on the Rams and he had Sean McVay and it was a pass heavy offense. But what changes for him going to the Titans? I don't know. I don't think that they equal Robert Woods or AJ Brown. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, AJ Brown was
with you.
He was a solid target because of his skills, but it's still a run first offense, and I think it's still going to be, bringing Henry back. So I just think this void, so to speak, isn't going to be filled with this. And I love Bobby Trees. I love the upside of Burks, but it's a prove it thing to me. So
AJ Brown's a different animal, dude. I don't see any way that they're going to be able to find that kind of replacement, and which I do think hurts Tannehill.
Like, just came off an injury. Show me your whole upper echelon here of muscle, and then maybe I'll pitch a tent somewhere.
So then you were going to say something else?
But we're also talking like AJ Brown was so appealing in PPR leagues because he's a target hog. When you're replacing one target hog with two guys that have wide receiver two, a stronghold on wide receiver two-ism, it's tough to like get excited about that. Like you said, it's a run first offense. So AJ Brown was attractive because he was the option.
Like,
so
the one passing option that you can rely on that offense.
Like,
exactly.
you don't know.
Julio? That's cool. We're still going to throw it to this guy because he's better.
We're only going to target AJ Brown. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's better than you. Yeah.
Davis, the remedy to drop practice was working on technique. Sure. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you there. But let's move on here over to Houston, and really the only guy that we care about over here is Brandin Cooks, and he's back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, back-to-back 6 touchdown seasons. Can we count on that as the floor and maybe get more with a second season of Davis Mills? Like, I don't think Davis Mills can get worse. So, like, could we expect possibly more from him? And, like, if so, I mean,
possibly impossible.
ADP wide receiver 29 might be pretty good, especially in PPR leagues.
Yeah, I think Brandin Cooks is a guaranteed wide receiver two, like probably a high-end wide receiver two in that offense. The surprising thing to me when you read ADPs was that John Mechie is going before Nico Collins. Now, I'm a Nico Collins
with the new shiny
gal.
toy.
Yeah,
I can't stop. I won't stop. But Brandin Cooks is such an easy scoop up. Scott Fishbowl, underdog best ball, regular best ball, any of it. It doesn't matter how many times we say it. It's like we say it every fucking offseason.
My division
And
might
his
be listening, and I
ADP
know they are
never
actually.
rises. He's not sexy or exciting, so people don't like him, but he's such an easy grab every single time. Like, I'll be like, I should probably take a running back now, but Brandin Cooks is there. I do it every time.
It's like I
agree.
Running back.
I agree.
I've
But
but Brandin Cooks is there. Damn it. You do it. You're like
outside of 2019 when he had just an abysmal season, Brandin Cooks has been severely underrated every single year. It feels like 1,000 yards plus every single season.
he's had though too. I mean, he's always had good quarterbacks.
Well, no,
it's
he
like-
hasn't. But I mean, come on, New Orleans, and then he had Jared Goff in the Rams. It was just the Rams offense, but
Goff is
Jared Goff.
Amazing.
But
He
it
went
was
to the Super
he
Bowl.
didn't always have
Let's
good
fucking beat
quarterbacks. But anyway, keep it rolling, AJ.
All right. Okay.
I'm glad we can keep you entertained, Linda.
All right.
For me.
So I don't even know the fuck we are.
Jacksonville.
Yes. All right. So this is kind of a quick one, but who are you buying more at their ADP for the Jags this season? Kirk or Chenault?
I've never been a LaVisca Chenault girl. I am probably never going to be a LaVisca Chenault girl. I don't mind Christian Kirk, again, in best ball, where he might have some boom weeks. But I think that whole offense is going to take a year before I get in on any of them. I think there is a lot of prove it and a lot of money dedicated to fucking figure it out. So that makes me nervous. And so Christian Kirk on the off chance that I'm feeling ballsy that day, but I'm pretty staunchly anti LaVisca Chenault.
I
gonna
would
get me
only
canceled.
like Chenault because I have him on one of my dynasty teams and I have to like him. But I'm with you. I want Kirk at the ADP if I had to choose between these two. Although at the same time, too, like if I'm to that point and I need a receiver at my drafts, I mean, I'm looking at Kirk going in front of Sky Moore, right behind Christian Watson, right behind Chase Claypool. We just trashed
Chase
Robert
Claypool's
Woods kind of.
number 3
Yeah.
wide receiver in NFL. Did you
Chris
guys know that?
Olave, Brandon Ayuk, like he's going
There's
behind
a lot of
all
better
of them.
options right there.
And then like even just behind Kirk, Jameson Williams, Kadarius Toney, Gallup, Boyd. I mean, like it's sort of
I would take Boyd over
maybe
everything.
Boyd, but Boyd is the 3 on his team.
Doesn't
And to
matter.
where we
I'd
just talked last week,
still
where
take
a
him
team can support 2
over
good receivers, 3 really good receivers is pretty tough. So Boyd is definitely.
See, that's
the
where it comes
last-
down to.
That's where it's like,
my-
nah, you can't do it. But
Mm,
in
Kirk
best
at
ball,
least
I'm
is going to
taking
be the
Kirk.
1, and they paid him like a 1. They're going to force feed him like a 1. So at least at 47, that's where
they're
you're
going to
going
force
like.
feed him like a 1, and he's going to show that he's actually a 3. So
Still though, when you're talking about a bunch of rookies, and
yeah,
like I'll take Kirk over all the rookies any day. And
I will take Etienne's number of targets and actual catches from those targets over Kirk right now. Right now. Write it down. It's happening. Etienne will out catch and out target Kirk.
I'm gonna write it down.
He won't
Should.
target, but no. Okay.
Maybe not
All
out
right.
target.
You
but
said to
that-
write it down.
That's the questionable thing. But out
So we're
catch,
gonna have Linda on in week 18 to call you out on this, just for
I'm
that. purpose.
Fine.
Anyway,
Do it.
let's finish up here.
I'm
with the
calling it now.
receivers.
Christian Kirk,
Michael
injury.
Pittman.
Boom.
I mean, he is.
Do not draft.
Michael Pittman's the receiver that everybody likes out of Indy for very good reasons. Is there anybody outside of him that you see as even coming close to a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 for this team? Paris Campbell has been sort of showing flashes in the past, but anybody.
You want to go? You want me to go?
You can go.
I like
Linda?
Alec Pierce. Okay, again in best ball, like taking a swing on him late. But I think that I don't know. We've talked about it really kind of being a run first through Jonathan Taylor. It'll depend on how Matt Ryan makes himself in Indiana, but I don't mind Alec Pierce late. He's not a guy that I'm going to look at and go like, oh, can't wait to start this dude.
Yes.
But I don't mind him late. Paris Campbell, I think I've watched that train get rolling and then run into a brick wall too many times. I've never been on it, but I've watched it enough to go like, I'm good.
Still on it.
And so,
Yeah, Dynasty League crushing me.
yeah. So I think I'm Michael Pittman or bust in terms of pass catchers in Indiana or in
I agree.
Indianapolis, whatever. I'm not good
That's
at geography.
I just say Indy.
It's yeah. It's
You can just say the Colts.
that
We're good.
There you
Midwestern
go. In the
state.
Colts.
The Colts.
I mean, honestly,
This is what happens when the show goes
What
till
was-
11:40 at night. Everybody,
shut up.
apologize.
Shut up. God. All
This is
you
entertaining. I'm
Why?
sorry. I'm having fun. I'm not apologizing. It's just funny. I'm just explaining. Why don't you just answer and keep going on, bud?
I'm trying to, but you keep fucking opening your mouth. Just shush. Cool. All right. So tight ends. We've got Engram, who we've mentioned. We've got Austin Hooper, who we've mentioned. We've got Mo Alie-Cox, who we've mentioned, and we've got Brevin Jordan, who nobody's mentioned. Orders there are TE 24, 26, 32, and again, not ranked. So,
We got a Dan Arnold at 44, by the way. If anybody cares,
nope, nobody cares.
I do.
B-
I'm just giving you shit.
This is why you ruin the show. This is why you ruin the show every fucking week.
Uh-huh.
Do you see what I have to deal with, Linda? I mean,
By the way, Brevin Jordan is 28.
I-
Just to warn you. So somebody didn't write this down right.
Oh, now you're criticizing my writing? Wow.
I feel like
I
we might
didn't-
have to have
I
like
didn't know. I don't know who put the
That
ADP in. It just
That is
Brevin
bold.
Jordan's 28. I just saw it. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I put this in the other day and didn't see that, so
That's my bad.
I'm just fixing it. So I told you he's 28.
great.
I just noticed it. I'm sorry.
This show also brought to you by COVID. Fuck yourself, COVID. So anyway, tight ends. We're way off the rails at this point, and I'm just going to go ahead and ask both of them. We were talking about Indy, we were talking about Pittman, but Mo Alie-Cox, now he doesn't have Jack O'Doyle rules to deal with. So, see, you're deep in thought, Linda, or just trying to hold
I have
back.
a lot of thoughts.
There's a lot of thoughts here, and
Here's my
or just go with your thoughts. I don't even
I just
don't even
really
care
love
at
Jelani
this point
Woods.
where we are with tight ends because they
I just
suck
really
in this
love Jelani
division.
Woods. That's what it comes down to. I love Jelani. I love that draft pick for the Colts. I So
Yes.
for that reason, I can't be hype about Mo Alie-Cox. Like I don't want to get on the Cox train because because I'm so sorry.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I have allergies.
Because I love Jelani Woods.
Still
This
allergies.
is, by the way, making our hype video for the
Still
show.
allergies.
Get on it, by the way.
They're terrible. This Mid-Atlantic region.
Davis,
I'm telling you.
get on
Do
it.
not move to the Mid-Atlantic region if you have allergies. You are in the A. Okay. All right. You know, I muted myself purposely for that.
You-
Linda, the floor is
I
yours.
wouldn't have muted that as well as you did.
I didn't really
But
mute it.
I just
stopped
can't. I
talking.
can't get on Mo Alie-Cox because I love Jelani Woods, and I think he is not a great blocking tight end, so he's going to get some work in the
Yeah.
pass catching game.
Agreed.
And for that reason, I can't get hype about Cox.
There's nothing to like about this tight end room for fantasy. They're all DFS streamer plays, in my opinion. Maybe Engram actually figured out how to catch footballs again, but other than that, get nothing.
I don't mind Evan Engram late in best ball draft. I don't mind Evan Engram.
In best ball, maybe. Yeah. In a best ball,
you
He'll be a
get
top
on
2
board.
target on my team.
Evan Engram.
Listen, that was a good idea.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, best ball, I can get on board with that. Like redrafting, hell no. not gonna happen.
I like watching.
We
him
muted
talk.
AJ, didn't we?
He never knew.
Fuck you guys. First of all, as I was
Yeah,
saying, go ahead, try to do it again. I got my mouse ready.
You know, once we mute you, you can't unmute us, or you can't unmute yourself.
Bullshit.
That was fantastic.
No,
Anyway.
he can, Joe. He can.
Oh, I
he
can.
unmute
I thought
himself.
anyway.
I can do everything.
Can we just close it out, AJ? I think we're done with
No.
talking about that. Good. God, of course.
You missed that whole fucking thing. That was gold. That was goddamn gold. And you're like,
You seem really
we
passionate.
muted you,
This was
idiot. Sure. Let's just close it out. Who the hell is this?
Davis.
Davis? See? All right.
Davis
Davis.
is a
Brevin
trooper.
Jordan, the third or
Third,
fourth most
fourth.
targeted rookie tight end. It's pretty impressive. I agree. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I mean, again, these are all guys you can wait on in drafts. You don't have to
Yeah.
draft any of them in normal leagues, and just
Take
move
Mark
on.
Andrews and don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Mark Andrews,
Draft
and Kelsey,
A
and
tight end early,
you're-
and you're good.
yeah. Other than that, you're just praying you find the Devin Knox the Dawson Knox who's gonna
Dawson.
score nine touchdowns randomly out of nowhere. So, all right. Linda, let's finish things off here and give us your division standings predictions. And I know we kind of alluded to this earlier,
Yeah.
but let's round it all out.
Fuck. Okay, my phone died, which is where I had it opened at. But I think I had it Titans, Colts, Jags, Texans. Although I think the Texans might be like volleying it back and forth. And I just also want to say, this is like a total side note, but if you're playing Scott Fishbowl and you're thinking, I should draft a kicker, and you look at Rodrigo Blankenship, who plays with the Colts, so it's totally relevant because it's AFC South. Don't do it. He has only attempted a 50-plus field goal 4 times in his entire career over the last 2 years. It's not worth it. I know he's fun because he wears the goggles and he's a Lego nerd. I get it, but just don't do it. All right.
Not worth it. And trust me, this girl knows kickers. If you don't know that already, you're an idiot. Second of all, no, I'm just kidding. I love all of our listeners, all of you. But yes, if you have kicker questions, please direct them to Linda because she will answer them and you will be thankful.
Most people won't.
Yeah, I don't answer those questions.
Okay, for the 6 of you listening that actually playing kicker leagues,
Thank you. They'll appreciate that too.
you will appreciate this.
AJ, what are the division standings for the AFC South?
Wow. All right. I'm gonna give it to my boy Dougie Fresh. It's gonna come out on top. Then it's gonna be Indy, one game back, and I don't really care about the other teams. So yeah, they'll figure it out somewhere at like 5 and how many games we have? 18, 17. Yeah.
Yeah,
5
you
and
figure out the math.
12.
5 and 12. All right, so yeah, I'm going Colts. Like I said before, I think Matt Ryan's gonna figure this out. The Titans will finish second. I do think like it'll be like a 9-win season for whoever's up top. Like it's not gonna be pretty. The Jags might surprise and win like 7,
11.
and then Houston's gonna be straggling behind. Maybe win like 6 or 5 at best. So that's what I got. Linda, I want to thank you for coming on and joining us tonight, even though it was a little bit later night than expected for all of us. But I had a great time. And but before we let you go, want to let you have your chance to tell all the listeners where they can find your stuff this season.
Well, thank you guys for having me on again. I apologize for my computer taking
It's okay.
Don't
forever
ever apologize for Joe. He's an ass. It's cool.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Lindellians, and then like all of my work is on the Matthew Berry Fantasy newsletter. It's completely free. We started teasing this week. We are dropping an entire website on July 5th. So make sure you subscribe. Again, all free. So just check it out. It's great. It's great stuff. There's a ton of content.
Kickers. If you're in a league with kickers, please pay attention to Linda because she is all about the kickers.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, have a good night, Linda. Thanks again for joining us. And we will see you at the Fantasy Football Expo, if not before.
Yes.
Singing some
karaoke. Karaoke is happening again.
100%. All right, Linda. Have a good night. See ya. All right, AJ. It's late enough, I think.
Yeah.
No more things to talk about. So
we
will talk later. Peace.
All right.